Episode number 946, Small Talk.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California. And I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you and where are you?
Well, I tell you, I'm kind of all over the world this year because this is International Networking Week, and I'm doing a number of talks and videos for people around the world. International Networking Week started in 2007, so we're coming up on our 20th anniversary, and it's been a way of really getting exposure for BNI worldwide.
Interesting. Okay. What are you going to teach us this morning?
Well, I'm going to talk about small talk, and I did have a podcast not long ago, episode number 937. It's called Smart Talk, Not Small Talk. But it's interesting. The media has been asking me a lot lately about this topic, small talk. And there are a number of questions that they've been asking me. So I'm going to share the questions that they've asked and what my answers are. And then we should have a little time at the end, Priscilla, to talk about it if you'd like.
Sure.
So one of the first questions I'm asked by the media, and I do about 150 interviews a year, not counting my podcasts with you. I do about 150 interviews a year. So I do quite a few and virtually all on networking topics. And one of the first questions that I'm being asked is your small talk being evaluated the moment you say hello? And the short answer to that is, yes, it happens faster than a sneeze in a cat cafe. It is immediately. Have you ever been in a cat cafe, by the way?
Yes, I have.
I have too. In Japan, it's really strange. And for those people who don't know what a cat cafe is, you go into a cafe in Japan and you have tea usually, and there's like, I don't know, what do you think, 20, 30 cats that are all over the place?
The one I saw was they were trying to get them adopted. Was yours that?
Wow. No, this is an actual like coffee shop or tea shop that I went into in Japan with one of my children, Dorian, and my late wife, and we had tea and cats all over the place. That was pretty crazy, but I'm off topic. But it does. You are evaluated faster than a sneeze in a cat cafe. People form their first impression within 7 to 10 seconds. That's why I wrote a book called 7-Second Marketing many, many years ago. The tone of your greeting, your eye contact, and even how you say the other person's name all send a message. Are you present, or are you just physically in the room while your mind is still parking the car? Small talk doesn't have to be shallow. It's a bridge to meaningful conversation, and it can show warmth, approachability, and confidence. So I'm next asked, what topics signal that you're nervous and which convey confidence. So topics like apologizing for yourself. Oh, I'm not really good at networking, or I'm not really a fan of networking events. That don't do that. That's a neutral negative. Either people don't care or it's a negative comment. It's not going to help you in any way whatsoever. Also, oversharing personal issues, TMI, too much information, that's another potential problem. I don't see that happen as often, but I do see people apologizing for themselves, saying that they're not good at networking or whatever. Confident conversation starters focus on the other person. Ask, what they're excited to be working on. React positively to something that they've shared. Compliment something specific, not generic, that they've said or done. Confidence isn't loud, it's curious. The person who asks thoughtful questions looks like the one who knows what they're doing. And, people love it when you've asked them questions and you've allowed them to talk. I would equate it a lot to doing interviews with the media, where the media will ask me a question and they allow me to expand. And that's really what a good networker should be doing, is allowing the other person to expand based on the questions that they ask. And you want to make a connection with somebody. Last week we were talking about relationships, connections that lead to relationships. You want to have a connection that leads to a relationship. Show that you're curious. Another question that I'm often asked is, does talking about the weather mark you as uninspired or lazy? So talking about the weather is okay if you don't stay there longer than the forecast. It's easy to do that. And weather can be a runway, but it shouldn't be the flight itself. You can and should pivot pretty quickly. Yeah, it's been really, really hot. How are you keeping cool in this weather? Any fun projects that you're doing indoors or outdoors? I might talk about, well, it's been hot here in Austin where I live. I've been taking the boat out, and it's always like 10 degrees cooler when you're on the water and going fast. And I might go fast a little bit in my boat. So it's usually pretty cool. So you have a conversation like that. Suddenly you've kind of gone from being a meteorologist to a meaningful conversationalist. Apologies to the meteorologists that might be out there, but it's okay to talk about weather, but just don't stick there. So here's the next question I've been asked a lot. Can the wrong type of small talk be a deal breaker? And the answer to that is absolutely. Small talk can open a door and it can slam it shut. A deal breaker small talk includes gossip. It makes people wonder what you're going to say about them. Mm-hmm. Controversial topics right out of the gate, especially politics. It's one of the reasons why in BNI we don't do politics and religion. And I know that, that really angers people. People sometimes really feel like, I need to be able to talk about how I feel. Great, talk about how you feel, just not at a BNI meeting. And I'll tell you how we learned this. And I know I did a podcast many years ago about this. We learned this the hard way many, many years ago, like 35 years ago or more, when a chapter brought in an outside speaker, which they shouldn't have done, because we really don't have outside speakers. We let our members have the feature presentation, but they brought in an outside speaker who was a local city councilman, and first thing he did was start talking about some local ordinance that was going to be changed, and he just riled the chapter up. Half of it, the chapter loved it. Half of it was furious. And, I wasn't there, but I heard all about it. And I was like, okay, guys, no politics. Don't bring in politics into a chapter. And after 41 years, I can tell you absolutely positively it's a negative within a networking context. Now, having said that, you want to be politically active? God bless you. Go do it. I'm all for it. And the funny thing is, I talk about don't talk about politics, but I have a bachelor's degree in political science. So I enjoy politics. I talk about it with friends, but I don't do it in a networking environment. And I urge you, if you want to network effectively, stay away from that topic. It's bad. Okay, I sidetracked a little bit. Complaining about the event you're at. Yes, people do it. I don't recommend that you complain about the event that you're at. I've seen people complain about the event that they were at and ended up not realizing they were talking to one of the people that helped organize it.
Oh, no.
Yes, I saw that happen. And it's like, okay, take out foot and, just change feet, right? Insert foot into your mouth. So the purpose of small talk isn't to fill silence. It's to find common ground and to build trust. In networking, you aren't collecting business cards. You're collecting relationships. So yes, a strategic hello can lead to a strategic partnership, and it often does begin with that small talk. So that's my message for today. Priscilla, any thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. I have a thought from the beginning of your speech, and it's about when the number of seconds it takes for people to judge you. And you had a very low number, like 7 seconds or something. Is that right?
Yeah, it's very short. It's, a couple of sentences. I wrote a book on this, but it was really mainly aimed at, meeting people in a group as opposed to one-to-one. But generally speaking, just a few seconds and people, you're already making an impression on people, good or bad.
So the reason I mention it is because my big fear is forgetting somebody's name.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why does it disappear? Somebody tells me their name and it's immediately gone. And I think it's because I'm looking at their eyes and I'm kind of trying to get an analysis of what this person's like or something about them, or, it's kind of what you were talking about, except then I also forget their name. So I think there must be a way to remember their name.
There are some suggestions. And some people have these really elaborate techniques where, you remember some facial feature and think of somebody else, and it's a full moon on a Tuesday and you think about, well, I can't do all that. I do recommend that I think this is a great question. And if you're interested in more information on Priscilla's question, go to episode number 478 of my podcast, 478. It's called Remembering Names. And in there, I talk about some things that I do, like repetition. Mm-hmm. Priscilla, it's very nice to meet you. How do you spell that, Priscilla? Because I'm guessing there's different ways to spell it. And so you get them to name it again, then use their name in the conversation. So, Priscilla, what do you do for fun? What do you do that's interesting there? What's most interesting about your business? And then as you're talking to them, say, hey, Priscilla, I have somebody here that might want to have a chat with you, that might want to meet with you. Is it okay if I bring them on over and introduce you? I mean, there's a number of things that you do, but the key to me is repeating the name.
Yeah.
And repeating it immediately, because what happens is you lose it immediately. At least I do.
Yeah, it's true. It just disappears.
And so I'll oftentimes say, repeat your name for me. And then the person repeats their name. I get it, Priscilla. Mm-hmm. And then use the name throughout the conversation. Go to that podcast, everyone, episode number 478. And I think we're out of time. Did you have another question, or are we good now?
That was it, Ivan.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Priscilla. It's always good talking to you.
You're welcome, Ivan. Okay, great. I think that's it for this week. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioPrograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioPrograms.com, and then use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thanks so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.